Good afternoon, everybody. I am Teacher Alice, and I will be sharing to you the second part of our lecture today entitled Raising Children with Special Needs in the Community. So Teacher Zarla presented to us the community based on Bronfenbrenner's framework and also Vygotsky. All right, so for the second part, I will be sharing some strategies and practical tips on how we can engage our children with special needs in our homes, all right, or in the community. Okay, so let's start. All right, so Bronfenbrenner's ecological framework, okay, it was mentioned, no, it was defined by Teacher Zarla, no, yung microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, macrosystem, and chronosystem. So for today, I will be focusing more on the micro and the mesosystem, and I will be sharing a little on exosystem and macrosystem as well. Okay, so all right, let's start. Microsystem is the individual's immediate context characterized by direct interactional processes. Ito po yung mga example, yung mga kasama sa bahay, mommy, daddy, mga kapatid. It can be the caregiver or mga extended family at home. Okay, sa school naman, okay, pwedeng teacher, pwedeng mga kaklase, pwede pong therapists. Alright, pwede ring mga nakakasama sa church or sa neighborhood or sa mga kalaro ng bata, no? Pwede rin po yung mga groups, for example, if the child is involved in sports, academic clubs, alright? So ito po yung tinatawag na microsystem. At ito po, no, yung mga na-mention ko po ay may malaking impluensya sa ating mga students with special learning needs. All right, so sa microsystem, okay, ang focus po natin is more of parents and teachers and educators. All right, dahil karamihan po sa atin ay mga magulang at mga educators. Okay, so uunahin po natin ang parents' involvement. Okay? So sinasabi po sa research na yung mga parents na mas involved sa school ng mga bata ay yung mga anak po ay nagpapakita ng mas maraming progress. Okay, mas nagpo-progress sila compared sa parents who are less involved. So ganun po ka importante ang role ng mga parents. Okay, parents also, sila po yung may primary influence sa mga bata. Ayan, so ngayon pong pandemic, of course, iba po yung situation natin. Mas nakita natin yung need ng partnership ng teachers or ng educators, no? O ng school at ng bahay. Kaya ang mga parents po talaga ay very important, no? Very critical ang kanilang role. But of course, because of the pandemic, what I have noticed po, no, talaga ang parents ngayon ay talagang double time din sa pagtatrabaho. So I think talagang meron pong masasabi natin talagang struggling, no, may struggle po, no, sa sa ating kumbaga role as a parent. Meron po tayong mga challenges yon. So yung ibibigay ko po dito na ilang mga activities are helpful lang po para sa atin na how we can keep the kids engaged po sa bahay na kasama po tayong mga parents. Ayun. Okay, so first, sige po. Ayan. Okay. So sa bahay po, we can get materials that are accessible. Kung ano po yung available sa bahay. Pwede po nating tingnan at gamitin na para maging mas busy, na fun and engage ang ating mga anak. Yan. First, you can set up a sensory table. Hindi naman po dapat yung talagang commercially made, no? We can think of materials, no, na available sa bahay. Ito po maganda example dito, bato, no? We can actually set up and then let the child play with it. Okay? So ito po ay mas na-enhance po yung kanyang or nagiging mas multisensory yung experience ng bata. We can also set up sa labas, okay? Or what we can use outdoor playtime kung meron, no? Kung available. Pwedeng garahe or a spot na safe po for the kids. But of course, right now, because it's ECQ, okay, the kids are not encouraged to go outside. So ano po yung area sa bahay na maluwag na pwedeng maging spot ng bata to move around and to explore. Okay, we can also do some music and circle time. Ang pinaka-popular po ay ang videoke. Ayan, madalas po kaming nagbi-videoke sa bahay ng aking family, ng aking mga anak, no. You can use a mic, kung may microphone, no. They are natutuwa sila na naririnig ng kanilang boses na kumakanta. Yan, yoga for kids also. Yan, sa YouTube lang po yan. Okay, ito pong pinili ko ay I forgot the title. Cosmic Yoga. Yan po yung ginagamit namin ng anak ko at sobrang gustong-gusto niya po yan. Okay, so we can also use different types of objects or toys. So take note po, no, objects. So when we say toys, it's not necessarily toy that we buy from Toys R Us or Toy Kingdom. Ang toys po pwedeng nating sabihing open-ended tsaka close-ended. Okay, yung mga close-ended, ito po yung mga dolls, probably yung mga cars, okay, matchbox for example, na minamanipulate ng mga bata. Yun po yung close-ended. Kapag open-ended po, ito po yung walang structure na pwedeng ang bata po ay mag-explore. No? Yung Lego is one example, yung pong blocks, alright? Also, pwede rin po yung mga ginagamit ko po yun sa bahay, no, yung mga empty bottles for example, masusurprise po kayo yung mga bata, ang dami nilang pwedeng gawin dun sa mga empty bottles. Okay, pwede rin ang mga loose parts for example, no, marami silang pwedeng gawin na kasi po ito po mga unstructured materials na ganito, mas nakakapag-isip ang mga bata creatively. They have their own way of presenting things. Ayan, meron silang mga interpretations. So yun po, maganda po na you also explore on open-ended objects or toys. Yan. You can also watch favorite TV shows with your child. Ayan, ang paborito namin ay Paw Patrol dahil nagustuhan ko po ito kasi may values yung teamwork, no? Meron din pong sense of yung friendship. Okay, na ipinapakita yung cartoon. So yung anak ko po, may time po yan na magkikwento siya based on what he watched sa kanyang favorite TV show. Yan, make a video, give them camera, let them explore. Gustong-gusto nila. Ito pong generation na to, ang selfie generation. Ayan, so pagka nag-selfie sila, you will be surprised, no? Or mag-vlog, mag-video, ang dami po nilang nasasabi. That can also be an opportunity for them to enhance their language skills, also to express themselves. Yan. Okay, you can read books together. Ayan, mamaya po may ipapakita ako sa inyong ilang ways how to read books together sa inyong mga anak. Okay, play with dough, pwede pong nabili sa market. Pwede rin po kayong mag-improvise, no? Mas enjoy po sila pag nag-i-improvise, no? You can use flour and water, and then you can also add paint para magkakulay. Yan, so marami na silang pwedeng gawin. Play with different textures, pwede po mga scrap materials. Okay, pwede po natin yung gawing something multisensory. Okay, spend some quiet time playing. Meron din pong time that the child will enjoy playing quietly. Yan, like for example, puzzles, pwede niyang gawin. Okay, sing, dance, and make noise with your child. Yan po, gustong-gusto ng mga bata yan. Kasi when mommy or daddy acts like a child, talagang yung pong kanilang kaligayahan ay nag-uumapaw, no? Make up games with movement and balls, no? Yung mga ball, ayan, marami pong mga activities na pwedeng gawin using a ball. Okay, listen to various types of music. So ito po, pinili ko po ay Spotify kasi yan po ay makikinig lang siya, no? Pwede siyang kumanta, pwede siyang mag-dance. Kasi po pagka naka-YouTube sila, usually nanonood na lang sila, no? Hindi na nila na-explore yung other things to do with music, nanonood. But if they're listening to it, pwede nilang sabayan. Okay? And make a puppet or puppet theater. Yan, make different crafts. Yan, marami pong example niyan sa internet. Okay, blow bubbles, it's also good for exercise po ng kanilang speech, no? Engage children in the kitchen. Yan po ang pinaka-paborito nila. Gusto nila involve sila sa kitchen. Gusto nila naghuhugas ng pinggan. Gusto rin nila na nagma-marinate, no? Like my child, we used to marinate yung chicken, pati toyo. Talagang messy po, no? Messy but fun. Okay, so pag po in-involve natin yung mga bata sa chores, for example, of course, there's a space for them to make mistakes. So we have to be very understanding. Importante po ay nararamdaman nila na parte sila ng bahay at nararamdaman nila na ayun, naglilinis sila, pakiramdam nila malaki yung help na naibibigay nila sa house. Okay? But of course, kasama po doon yung paglalaro, no? Nilalaro nila yung kanilang ginagawa. Yan, explore their artistic talents. Yan. So ito po yung ilang mga activities namin. Yan po yung aking bunsong anak. So yan po yung mga bagay na yung mga lagi namin ginagawa sa house. Okay, so ito po, like dito, gumamit lang ako ng beans at munggo, bigas. Yun, nilagyan lang namin ng paint. So yan, enjoy na po siya niyan. Okay, we also play sa bigas. Of course, walang tapon. Okay, siyempre, binibigyan mo rin tinuturuan din natin ang bata na bigas yan, no? Hindi na tayo nagtatapon ng pagkain. Okay, but ito po yung mga accessible sa bahay. Yan, so kinetic sand. Alright. Watering and also this game. Yan, nilalaro po namin. If I'm not mistaken, Roblox po yata yan, no? Ayun. So we used to play that pag Saturdays in a short span of time. Of course, kapag po gumagamit na ng gadgets ang mga bata, meron po tayong discipline na kailangang i-implement din. Right? So next ay, ito po, yan, mga iba pa naming activities, water play. Okay? These are old toys. Ito po ay mga toddler toys niya na imbes na itapon ay pinapalutang namin sa tubig. So from there, nagagamit namin siya ulit. Yan, mga shells. Okay. We also, I bought this instrument to explore on sounds. Yung pitch, no? Yung mataas na pitch at mababang pitch. So he just plays at nilalaro niya yan sa bahay. Okay, so ito po yung mga ilang activities po na pwede nyong gawin sa house. Okay, like this, ito pala, no, yung crayons, imbis na itapon namin, ayan, ginawa naming bago. So happy po siya dyan. Okay, now, for parents, okay, ayan, gusto ko pong i-share sa inyo yung shared book reading. Kasi po, bakit shared book reading yung napili ko, no? Marami po kasing strategies na pwedeng mag-enhance sa ating mga anak. But I chose this because it is really a powerful strategy, yung book reading, no? Natututo sila sa language, social skills, yung connection with the parent, pwedeng teacher, kung teacher po yung storyteller, and the child. Okay, yung kanilang socio-emotional development po ay na-enhance din, no? And of course, for those who are not yet reading, nagkakaroon siya ng awareness of yung tinatawag nga po nating emergent readers, no? Mas nagiging mas nagiging ready siya to read. Yun, nape-prepare siya. Okay, so shared book reading po, ito po yung pagbabasa ng magkasama, no? Pwedeng isang adult, pwedeng ate, okay, pwedeng parents, pwedeng teacher. Alright, so ito po ay ilan sa mga ways na pwede nating, tips na pwede nating gamitin sa shared reading. Okay, first po ay yung label. Ayan, of course kapag po, okay, siguro I'll just share first the book, no? Itong pong book na to, yung ginagamit ko sa center, actually it has reached hundreds of kids online. Kasi po nagbibigay kami ng free storytelling every month. So I use this book. Ayan. So ito po ay ginawa ng Adarna. Alright? And bakit ko po siya gusto? Dahil wala siyang words. Okay? So very friendly po siya. Ang mga bata kasi, once sinabi natin na, would you like to read? Would you like to read the book? May mga kids na magre-respond, Teacher, I cannot read. Yan. So what I always tell them, even at looking at the pictures, you can actually read, you can learn a lot. Okay? So parang nangyayari, but there are kids na parang nagiging ano sila, nagiging insecurity nila, yung hindi sila nagbabasa. So siguro yun, that's the reason why I like this book. Though, of course, we also use yung mga books na may text. Okay, so this book is entitled I Don't Like to Eat. Ang story po niya, may isang bata na ayaw kumain. So mahilig po siyang kumain ng junk food. Yan, lagi siyang nagsispend ng time. Yan. Spend ng time sa junk food. Ayaw niya ng mga good food. Until a monster came out from his tummy. So doon na po umikot yung storya. Okay, so the kids love this book. Now, how do we do label? Okay, so for example, this one, no, ang bilis po nitong makakonect sa mga bata. No? For example, pag open pa lang, nasa-surprise na sila, there's an apple, there's a banana, there's a bowl of rice. Okay, so from there, you can use labeling, no, na natututo sila, yung kanilang vocabulary as well. Okay, so you can also, number 2, make comments, okay, about the page. For example, ano bang magandang mag-comment dito? Okay, yan. What can you say about the child? Look at him. Is he happy or sad? All right, so you can make comments. All right, you can ask the child to give comments, no? Make connections, all right? So unang kita pa lang nila dito. Okay, like yung first page natin, yung mga fruits. Okay, do you eat apple? Yes, teacher, I eat apple. All right, o kung ikaw naman ay parent, no? Do you like apple? Yes, I like apple. So nako-connect natin dun sa dun sa experience ng bata. Okay, you can use dramatic voices. All right, so pwede ring, okay, like here, oh no. Okay, so yan, doon pa lang nagiging intense na yung kanilang feeling. Ayan, okay, all right, so you can make dramatic voices when you share a story. You can ask questions like, I wonder, what does the monster think today? I wonder what he likes. All right? So from there, yung bata pwede rin siyang magbigay ng ng insights niya. Imitate and expand comments. Okay? If the child says, he looks scary. Yeah, I think he's scary, right? And then you can also expand the child's comments. Okay? You can also give praise. All right? For example, oh, that's awesome. You noticed that? Okay, and also build book and print awareness. Yan. So from there, you can also ask the child, diba, which is the title. If the child does not read yet, you can let him point to the title, and then you can also point to the child. Ito yung this is the author. Okay, this is the illustrator. All right, and what else? You can actually use rhyming words. Okay? If there are some rhyming words doon sa sa story na ginamit nyo. And of course, follow-up activity at home. Okay, lalo na to, sobrang connect po yung mga kids dito, no? So, kunwari lunchtime na may nakahain na rice. So, do you remember? Do you remember our story kanina? It was all about the rice and the apple and banana. Yon. So, nagkakaroon ng connection dun sa bata. So, yon. Yan po yung ilan na mga mga tips on how we can have a meaningful book shared reading with the kids, no? Okay, so ang next po natin ay yung transitions, no? So this is still for the parents. It's very important to make a schedule po sa bahay. But the question there, we all know that schedule is very important, no? But the next question is, how do we make it effective? Okay? Ayan. Yan. So, in making a schedule, transition from one activity to the next is very crucial. Okay, so doon po sa pagta-transition ng activity to the next, okay, meron po tayong tatlo, no? Pwedeng planning the transitions. That's may kulang. Right before transitions and during and after transitions. Okay? So when we plan transitions, of course, number one, we will make a schedule. Okay, ang schedule ay pwedeng written, pwedeng pictorial. Okay, pwede pong kung yung bata po mahilig sa scrapbook, we can make yung scrapbook and build something and make a schedule there, no? Ang schedule po ay nakakatulong to give consistency for the day. Nagkakaroon din po ng structure ang mga bata. It's easier when kids know ahead of time. Okay, di ba? Ganun din po sa school, no? Kapag ang bata a-attend ng school, alam na niya kung ano i-expect niya na mangyayari for that whole hours na nasa school siya. Ganun din po sa bahay. Okay, so when we plan a transition, okay, we can use intentional order of activities within the schedule. Ano po yung ibig sabihin nun? Ano ba yung pag-o-order natin ng mga activity? So first, we can have the preference of activity. Ang preference po, ibig sabihin kung ano yung gusto niya at ano yung kanyang ayaw. So meron tayong tinatawag na dalawa po, no? Yung highly preferred and less preferred. So pwede natin gawin, i-rate natin, no? Ilista natin lahat ng activities sa mga bata ng ating anak for the day. Tapos i-rate natin 1 to 10. 10 as the highest preferred, yung gusto niya. And then 1 as the yung kanyang hindi favorite activity. Ayan. So from there, pwede natin ngayon siyang i-order. So first, pwedeng preference, no? So paano ba natin ginagawa to? Uunahin natin yung paborito niya hanggang doon sa less preferred activities niya. For example, ang paborito niya ay eating time. Uunahin natin yon until doon sa kanyang less preferred. Okay, pwede rin pong sandwich approach na tinatawag, no? Yung sandwich approach, yung paborito or preferred, less preferred, and then preferred. Paborito, hindi paborito, then paborito. Sinandwich natin. For example, paborito niya ang dancing, so he can do the dancing first. Less niya ang homework, and then susunod na yung kanyang, for example, may a few minutes of iPad. Yan. So, sinasandwich natin yung activity. Alright? Pwede rin po yung tinatawag na natural biological state. Ito po yung tinatawag nating yung clock, body clock. 'Di ba may mga bata na parang in the morning mas mas teachable sila. Pagdating ng hapon medyo cranky. Yun. So may iba naman, like sa experience ko, yung mga parents, they would request, teacher, pwede ba yung session sa hapon? Kasi mas alive siya sa hapon compared sa morning. Kunwari yung mga late na gumigising. Especially sa schedule ngayon ng parents, there are parents who are working at night. So nakasabay ang body clock ng mga bata sa parents. So yun, pwedeng kung ano yung mas teachable siya, yung teachable moment. Kung morning yung teachable moment niya, we can put all the hard activities or yung mga less preferred niya doon sa morning, and then yung mga favorite niya sa hapon. Ayan. Also, we can do the length of activities. Kunwari, especially sa math po, kunwari may mga activities sa math na para sa kanya mahaba. So you can cut 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes math in the afternoon. So yun po yung length of activities. Pwede rin pong choices. Okay? We will give the child the autonomy to choose. Ano ba yung gusto niya? Siya yung magsiset ng schedule. But of course, a reminder is you have to give them choices that they can follow. Pag hindi naman niya kaya, mawawala na po ng bisa yung ating pagsa-schedule. Ayun. So of course, if you give the child choices, meron siyang buy-in, o ibig sabihin, mas pag-idea niya, mas magko-cooperate. Yun. And consistency is the key. Always develop a routine for transition Di ba? Kunwari sa bedtime, alam natin, no, after brushing teeth, after washing, and then you go back to bed, turn off the light. So, na-establish yung ganung routine. Ganun din po sa daytime. No? If we will be very consistent, it will be automatic sa bata. At sila na ang maghahanap. No? Kapag nasanay na sila doon, sila na po ang maghahanap ng activity na yon. Alright? So that's planning for transition. So ano naman po yung right before transition? Okay? So kunwari, pwede po natin gawin na we can give cues and warnings. Pwedeng verbal or pwede ring visual. Okay? Pwede tayong gumamit ng timer if that would work for the child. Merong mga downloadable apps na pwedeng gamitin. Based on your child's attention, give few minutes warning. Yan, pwede po tayong magbigay ng warning na malapit na yung susunod na activity. Okay? Next, for example, no, 2 minutes before cleanup. Okay, so you can clean up for 30 seconds. Okay, be specific about expectation. No, in 2 minutes, time to keep the iPad and you have to sit down for snack. So dapat alam nila yung specific na instruction natin. And you can also, you can also you can also give the first then strategy. For example, first activity is the difficult, and then the second one is the preferred task. So for example, first you will do the homework, after that you will do iPad, you will play with your iPad. Ayan, or iPad activity. Okay? So yun po yung ating giving cues. All right. Letter B, we can be organized, or we should be organized and prepared. So we have to reduce the waiting time. Ano ba yung waiting time? Ito po yung from one activity to another, nagkaroon ng gap. So ang nangyayari kapag hindi tayo well prepared, 'di ba, katulad sa teachers, for example, sa classroom, you have to prepare everything for the session. Wala siyang waiting time, no? Dire-diretso from one task to another. Okay? Ang nangyayari kasi kapag nagkaroon ng gap, yung bata nahihirapan siyang to make off ulit, no? Kailangan na naman niyang mag-gain ng momentum. 'Yun. So we have to eliminate the waiting time and organize everything ahead. Okay, now let's see. During and after transition, okay, we make the transition fun and engaging. Pwedeng through a game. Kunwari, let's see how fast you can sit. Okay, for reading. Ayan, so pwede nating medyo gawing game type. Make it silly or fun. Okay, can you make a silly face while you're getting your book? Yan, that's the another example. Okay, you can give specific feedback. For example, look for positive things to talk about. No, wow, you are so focused. Okay, instead of saying very good, you label the positive behavior. You label the child with the positive behavior. For example, wow, you're focused. You're so determined. Yan, so from there na mas na-highlight natin yung behavior na gusto nating makita, no, sa bata. Okay, and be specific with what you like. Ayan. So we all know po na yung ito pong pandemic, talagang students are the most vulnerable. Or students with special learning needs, no, are the most vulnerable. Sila po yung mas naaapektuhan compared sa mga non-special kids. All right? So there are also experiences ng tinatawag nilang online learning failure. All right? So yung susunod ko pong i-share are some guidelines also, some tips that can help us as teachers and educators in providing learning for our kids in school, or may it be a center-based or regular school. Ayan. So first, we can provide self-regulated learning, no? Yung merong 3 steps, always initiating and maintaining communication. Ito po yung communication connection natin sa ating estudyante. Okay? We can also present rules during online learning to students. I'm sure ginagawa na po natin to, no? Before we start, sineset na natin kagad yung rule. Tinuturuan na natin sila ng proper etiquette online and proper behavior. Okay, and reminding them to complete assignments. This is very important, no? Now we make sure that when we give them assignment, may it be project based at home, no, we remind them so that they can be mas nakikita nila yung need. Oh, I need to accomplish this. All right, and of course we have to provide yung accessibility and flexibility of our program. Okay, so I will be talking more about that sa mga susunod po, no? All right, so let me just share to you what was given by the UNESCO Bangkok, no, sa pag-handle natin ng mga students with special learning needs, okay, in school. Okay, number one is by assessing accommodations. We assess each child's situation and discuss adjustments needed for remote learning. You know, ang remote learning is may mga experiences tayo na effective siya. Meron ding mga experiences na talagang very challenging. So we have to assess if yung bang mga things that we will use for remote learning will be applicable for the child. Okay, so there are also ways, no, like alternative to print, pwedeng audio, other format. Okay, pwedeng pictures, yung flexibility ng schedule and deadline, no, paggamit ng mga assistive technology. Number two is modifying curricula and instruction. Okay, ang remote learning, of course, is different from face-to-face or classroom-based, no, na face-to-face. So we have to see what are the changes that we need to make with regard to the curricula and instructions. We also have what we call the UDL. Okay, let's go back to number 3, utilizing the UDL. Later po may papakita akong video on UDL. Okay, and then number 4, implementing project-based learning. So ito po very, meron na pong mga ilan, no, especially yung mga homeschool, no, nakitaan ko ng nagpo-provide sila ng project-based learning because this gives more engagement, especially sa mga kids natin with special learning needs. So you might want to explore po yung project-based learning. Ayan. So it also improves self-esteem and promotes positive engagement. Okay, number 5 is ensuring individualized education program or yung tinatawag natin na IEP. But let me just remind, no, ang IEP po ay useful kapag ito po ay na-implement natin ng maayos. Hindi porket may IEP ay yun na yun, no? Secured na tayo, my child has an IEP, no? You have to make sure that it is implemented properly. Okay, so it requires educators, students, parents, and families to work together to decide on the effectiveness of a remote learning setting. Okay, with the use of IEP. No? And of course, 6, supporting teachers. Teachers need support as well, okay, in this kind of mode. No? And number 7 is to provide family and caregiver support. Okay. All right. So, let me just quickly show po sa inyo ano yung UDL. Ito po yung pwede nating i-adapt sa school on how we can make accommodations to students with special learning needs. All right. So, let me just share the video. This video is by cas.org. Ayan.
This teacher needs to meet a curriculum goal, and she's got a very diverse group of students. And so does this teacher. And this one. Most do. In fact, research shows that the way people learn is as unique as their fingerprints. What does this mean for teachers of today? Classrooms are highly diverse, and curriculum needs to be designed from the start to meet this diversity. Universal design for learning is an approach to curriculum that minimizes barriers and maximizes learning for all students. Whoa, that's a fancy term. Universal design for learning. Let's unpack it a bit. Let's think about the word universal. By universal, we mean curriculum that can be used and understood by everyone. Each learner in a classroom brings her own background, strengths, needs, and interests. Curriculum should provide genuine learning opportunities for each and every student. Now let's think about the word learning. Learning is not one thing. Neuroscience tells us that our brains have three broad networks. One for recognition, the what of learning, one for skills and strategies, the how of learning, and one for caring and prioritizing, the why of learning. Students need to gain knowledge, skills, and enthusiasm for learning, and a curriculum needs to help them do all three. But every learner is unique, and one size does not fit all. So how do we make a curriculum that challenges and engages diverse learners? This is where the word design comes in. A universally designed building is planned to be flexible and to accommodate all kinds of users, with and without disabilities. It turns out that if you design for those in the margins, your building works better for everyone. Curb cuts and ramps are used by people in wheelchairs, people with strollers, and people on bikes. Captioning on TV serves people who are deaf, people learning English, people in gyms, and spouses who get to sleep at different times. UDL takes this idea and applies it to the design of flexible curriculum. UDL goes beyond access because we need to build in support and challenge. So how do we use the UDL framework to make learning goals, methods, materials, and assessments that work for everyone? First, ask yourself, what is my goal? What do I want my students to know, do, and care about? Then ask, what barriers in the classroom might interfere with my diverse students reaching these goals? To eliminate the barriers, use the 3 UDL principles to create flexible paths to learning so that each student can progress. Number 1, provide multiple means of representation. Present content and information in multiple media and provide varied supports. Use graphics and animation, highlight the critical features, activate background knowledge, and support vocabulary so that students can acquire the knowledge being taught. Number 2, provide multiple means of action and expression. Give students plenty of options for expressing what they know and provide models, feedback, and supports for their different levels of proficiency. Number 3, provide multiple means of engagement. What fires up one student won't fire up another. Give students choices to fuel their interests and autonomy. Help them risk mistakes and learn from them. If they love learning, they will persist through challenges. And remember, always keep in mind the learning goal. Get rid of barriers caused by the curriculum and keep the challenge where it belongs. And that's it. Okay, quick recap. Show the information in different ways, allow your students to approach learning tasks and demonstrate what they know in different ways, and offer options that engage students and keep their interest. Universal design for learning equals learning opportunities for all. For more information on UDL, go to www.cast.org.
All right. So yan, I would like to share this. Okay, you might want to visit their website. You will learn more about UDL. Okay, so ginagamit po yan to accommodate our students with special learning needs. Okay, so, all right. Okay. So just to recap, Universal Design for Learning is a set of principles for curriculum development that gives all students an equal opportunity to learn. It provides a blueprint for creating flexible instruction that can be customized to meet individual needs. All right. So, as we we interact with students with special learning needs. Okay, paano nga ba natin sila dapat paano ba to? Do we label them with their disability? I think that's the question, no? So meron po akong ilang mga i-share sa inyo how to use the words, yung ano yung mga proper words okay. All right, what are the words to say, no, and words to avoid, okay, when we interact with students with special learning needs? Okay, first, okay, what we can use is person who has instead of suffers from. Okay, person with a disability instead of saying disabled, handicapped, physically challenged. Okay, person with an intellectual disability instead of mentally retarded. Person with a brain injury instead of saying brain damaged. Person who has diabetes instead of saying suffers from diabetes or diabetic. Person who uses a wheelchair instead of using crippled, wheelchair bound, confined to a wheelchair. Okay, person with epilepsy instead of saying epileptic. And person who has or had a stroke rather than stroke victim. So we are using these terms, no? We have to be very careful also in accommodating our students with special learning needs. So ito lang po yung ilang mga ways na how when we accommodate them, no, paano ba natin ito babanggitin, no, in a particular context. All right, so now let's go to, of course, we have the meso system. Okay, as explained. Okay, wait lang po Ayan, the meso system is the interrelations between two or more settings in which the developing person actively participates. So lahat po nung nasa microsystem are interacting with each other. Ito po yung meso system, no? Ano yung connection ng bahay, ng eskwelahan, ng church, ng mga kapitbahay, at iba pang mga tao o konteksto na involve ang bata. Alright, so in a meso system, ito po yung ilan sa mga ways po paano tayo magko-collaborate with each other, no? As a meso system. First, of course, sa school, we can have some school initiatives. Ibig sabihin, tayo po yung gagawa ng kultura na makakapag connect yung parents, no, o makikipag-partner ang school at ang bahay, no. It can be through coordination and collaboration with parents. Okay, so ito po nilagay ko dito yung mga apps na to. I'm sure alam na alam niyo po yung Messenger, Google, Facebook. Bakit ko nga ba nilagay yan dyan? Okay, ito po yung mga very useful na mga tools kung paano tayo magko-collaborate o magko-connect, no? I have already used a lot of software and application before, no? Sa isa ngayon na bigla tayong nag-pandemic, nakita ko po yung importansya ng accessibility at ito po yung talagang gamit na gamit sa bahay, no? Bawat parent or individual na meron sila, no? Meron silang Messenger, Google, and Facebook. So that's what we use. Like in our center, ito po yung ginagamit namin to connect with parents. Of course, ang parents talagang very excited sila to share yung mga accomplishment ng mga bata. Matutuwa po kayo kapag yung parent talagang they will send you messages and send videos, no? So that's their way of connecting with the teacher as well. And also sa panahon ngayon, kailangan din ng strength ng mga magulang. Okay, ng boost. Alright, so tayo po mga teacher, we can be their listening ears, no? Kapag they want to share, they want to ask something, may mga inquiries sila, teacher, tama ba itong ginagawa ko? No? Common comments po na sinasabi ng mga parents, teacher, but pag ako ayaw niya makinig? Yun, yung mga gano'n, no? So we have to hear them, we have to connect with them, and we collaborate. Kasi sila po ang parents natin o ang home, ang pinaka ngayon talaga ang pinaka mas mahabang panahon ang ginugugol ng mga bata with the families. Okay? So, yan. We also use Google packages sa Learning Center. So, it's free. So, yan. Pwede po tayong gumamit ng mga tools dyan how we can collaborate with professionals as well. Pwedeng mga teachers, therapists, and parents, no? And of course, Facebook. Ayan. So we can also establish communication with the students. Of course, we need to connect, no? Tayo po mismo ang ko-connect sa mga bata. Okay? Social social contact with friends. We can also organize a school. It can be parents, pwede ring school. They can organize a way, no? A way for the students to contact other friends. Isa structure po natin. Just like what we do sa center po namin, what we do is we ask children, for example, they make a letter, yung totoong letter, no? Meron silang letter na isusulat, pipicturan, tapos ipapasa sa teacher. So the teacher will share it to dun sa friend, no? So from there na feel nila na meron silang friends. Hindi lang yung nasa bahay. Meron siyang classmate na nakikita niya online, nakikita rin niya yung anong tawag dito, yung mga activities na ginagawa ng kanyang friend, no? So yun, meron po tayong mga ilang ways on how we can make them connected to each other. Okay, and of course, community and collaboration. So yan, more of collaboration po. Okay, as a mesosystem. And then we have also the exosystem. All right. Ayan, ito po yung mga okay, and other systems. Sorry, there are other systems that affect the child. Okay, ito po yung school policy. All right, the deciding body of an institution, may it be sa center, may it be in the regular school. It can be also yung mga culture, history, government, the economic status of a country. Okay, so ito po yung mga other systems na nakakaapekto sa ating mga bata. All right, so let me just share. Okay, the tenets of inclusive education. Ito po ay galing kay Dr. Dizon. Okay, so why inclusive education? So now I'm pertaining not only to the microsystems, no, yung ating tahanan at school at other communities. No, I'm also talking to the tinatawag nating exosystem and mesosystem. All right, so ito yung mga makakatulong sa atin of answering the question why are we doing inclusive education. It is because we accept the child for who he is. We respect, okay, it is to give respect of dignity, recognition of potential, confidence in the ability of the child to become, respect for the child's atypical development pattern, conviction that the child learns in milieu of options, bringing joy to those related to the child, and loving the child strengthens commitment to the child's welfare. All right. So, okay, let me just also share to you the term normalization. No? It advocates that educational, housing, employment, social, and opportunities for individuals should resemble as closely as possible to the patterns, opportunities, and activities enjoyed by their peers who are not disabled. So ito rin po ay galing sa inclusive education. No? It written by Dr. Dizon. Okay. In inclusion, no, it does not aim to make the special needs child normal, but to make them feel that they are included in the society. Okay? And going back to, ito po yung mga ilan sa mga na-share na po ito ni Teacher Chat last time, no? We have the Magna Carta for the disabled persons. Okay, ito po yung fina-follow natin, no? Even DepEd, okay? Meron pong DepEd order of equal education opportunities for special needs. Education shall be institutionalized in all schools. Okay, yung ating Republic Act, no, yung 10754, yung 20% for the PWD, educational assistance, and also yung mga benefits that they can claim. So marami po tayong batas na na pinapatupad, at ito po yung kumbaga nasa taas natin, no, tayong mga parents and teachers, no, na nakaka-impluwensya sa bata. Okay? All right. So quickly po, sa Salamanca framework naman, inclusive education is the mainstream of regular education, regardless of race, linguistic ability, economic status, gender, age, ability, ethnicity, religious, and sexual orientation. Okay. Now, another thing, ito naman po ay nung nag-start po ang pandemic, no, ang UNESCO ay gumawa ng isang Global Education Coalition. Ito yung nagsama-sama po yung mga establishments at they organized into something that would really cater sa needs, hindi lang sa mga special needs children, but also sa needs ng mga learners, no? At ito po yung isang action na nakikita natin na naaapektuhan din tayo, no, ng mga in a particular system, no. Inclusion and education, all means all. Yan, initiatives of the Philippine government in the provision of inclusive education to Filipino children, expanding the coverage of inclusion program. So ito po ay during pandemic din, no? The goal is to foster learners through inclusive education. Philippines responded to the different challenges in education, including the COVID-19 pandemic and other natural disasters. Ayan. All right. So, okay, na-cover po natin yung micro, meso, exosystem, and macro system. And of course, there's also what you call the chronosystem, which are the changes that occur over a period of time. So lahat po ng mga pagbabagos, I think one thing that we can identify talaga ay yung pandemic, no, yung COVID-19 that really drastically made a lot of changes, especially na apektuhan yung ating mga students with special learning needs. All right? So I think ang pinaka-importante po, no, yan. Okay, when we raise children, okay, raise children with special needs in the community, ano ba ang role natin? I think ito po yung iiwan natin kong tanong, no, ano ba ang role natin diyan sa community, no? Pag binalikan po natin yung exosystem, chronosystem, ayan, ang daming mga pagbabago, ang daming mga pangyayari above us that would influence the child, no? But I think we have to go back to our role. Ano ba yung role natin in the community? Kung tayo po ay parent, tayo po ay teacher or educator, school owner, meron po tayong importanteng role sa ating mga students with special learning needs. And ang importante po ay magampanan natin, no? Identify ano yung mga bagay that we can control, no, at yung mga bagay na wala tayong control. And I think yun, it is an opportunity for us, yung mga bagay na we are in control of, no, ito po yung ating pagbutihin para sa ikabubuti ng ating mga students with special learning needs. Right? So that ends my sharing for this afternoon at maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.